3 o'clock. We can go ahead and get started. I'm going to call today's meeting to order, and we'll start off with an invocation, if you guys don't mind. Thank you, Lord, for allowing us to gather together as members of this community and leaders of this county to discuss the transportation needs of our county. Help guide us towards wisdom in the decisions that we make today, and we ask that you please keep everyone safe on all of the methods of transportation throughout the county. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. No one signed up for public input today, but if there is anybody here that would like to speak on any of the issues on today's agenda, I'm happy to have them come up. All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the review and approval of the agenda contents.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is approved. There were no minutes of the previous meeting because we just reestablished this, so can we just dispense with that? Okay. All right, then we'll move on to our discussion items, and the first one today will be ride program updates by Anna Barnhill.
While she's coming up, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to let you know what we are planning. If you want to do something otherwise, we will be glad to do that. But what we are going to do today is talk about the ride program, as well as one question that Councilman Howard had from the previous INR committee that is pertinent to this committee now. But we are going to bring forward to you updates from the Engineering Department, Public Works, CoStar TA, and RJ Foreman. Some of those will be regular parts of our agenda because there are active projects going on in all of those departments. The CoStar TA and RJ Foreman will be more as needed, but they are planning to come soon. We want to let you know that if you want the committee wants to do something. Otherwise, that's what we're planning.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Anna is our assistant ride program manager. She's been with us for about a year now.
10 months, yeah.
And she came to us from SCDOT, has 17 years or so in building highways and projects, and has been a good add for our efforts here.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
trading up.
Thank you.
Welcome to the good guys.
That's right, thank you. So what I wanted to do today was, as a part of the Transportation Committee, was just give you an update on what the RIDE program is doing. As we've turned over a new year, we've been very busy with RIDE 3 and RIDE 4 starting up. So without further ado, go ahead, I'm going to let Tom drive the train. I know you all have seen this plenty of times, but this is just to show you RIDE 3 and parts of the county that are being affected by RIDE 3. There's, every part of this county has been touched by the RIDE 3 program. We're very proud of that. So I wanted to give you kind of a status update of where we are on RIDE 3 funding. Collection stopped April 30th for RIDE 3, but we are still very much active in getting the projects completed. You can go ahead and do the next slide. So what's complete? The dirt road paving, we've completed Group 1 and Group 2 of RIDE 3. About 50 miles of dirt roads have been paved. We've completed the resurfacing, both municipal and county resurfacing as a part of that project. Palmetto Point Boulevard, Carolina Forest Boulevard, Middle Ridge Avenue Extension, Postal Way. We've recently completed 701 winding in Loris and the Fred Nash Boulevard Extension. So we'll talk a little bit about each of those. As I mentioned, Group 1 and Group 2 dirt roads have been completed. The resurfacing throughout the county is a part of this project. Again, 33 miles were municipal, and you can see the list there, each municipality and what they got paved, and then 66.87 miles of county roads were resurfaced. The Palmetto Point Boulevard extension, we had the ribbon cutting in November of 2019. I'm sure all of you have used it at least once. I love it. My kids love it. It's a nice, and things are getting built along there as we speak as far as how that area is being built up. So it's been a nice addition. Same with Carolina Forest Boulevard. That widening project had the ribbon cutting in May of 2022, and I think we can all agree that was much needed. And then the next one was Middle Ridge Avenue. Now, there's a neat little video, I think, that Palmetto might have taken of the Middle Ridge Avenue extension that I'd like to show you. But one of the things that we actually had our engineering department do was go out last week and do some traffic counts on Middle Ridge, just to kind of see, you know, how much it's been used since it's been open. And I think anywhere from, in different sections of that road, anywhere from like 5,500 to 8,000 ADT. Just in the 3 days that we had them look last week, from January 22nd through 25th. And all of that, you can imagine, is taking volume off of 501, where it's much needed in the most congested part of 501. So I think that's been a really cool project.
It's a really, I see a lot of traffic on there all the time.
Right.
It gets utilized.
And like I said, that was just 3 days that we had them look last week. I think they did some traffic counts right after it opened, and it was anywhere from, you know, it was in the 4,000 range. And so, you know, it's just the more people know about it, the more people are using it. And in particular in that stretch between Myrtle Ridge and Burning Ridge, I think that was the highest count, and it was like 8,400 ADT. So it's, you know, pretty cool. We also have Postal Way Extension. Again, another way to just alleviate some of the traffic off of 501. It was completed in the summer of 2023. There's also a little video that I think our PIO department did on Postal Way. Again, I'm not sure how many of you, I'm sure all of you have ridden down Postal Way, but, you know, development happening all along Postal Way. The US 701 widening in Loris is substantially complete. It was substantially complete at the end of 2025. They're currently working on the punch list items. Palmetto sent us a video of this as well. This is heading from 9 back towards Loris, and again, this project just really looks good if you've had a chance, if you've not had a chance to ride through it. And again, it was widened. We've added sidewalks, just a lot of the, you know, safety upgrades on all of these projects that, you know, were much needed. Fred Nash Boulevard is a newly opened project that we just finished. It was substantially complete. The signal was actually put into fully working order, and the project was fully opened on Harrelson on January 20th. I rode through there today. We had a progress meeting on that project this morning, and City of Myrtle Beach was in there, the contractor, the DOT, and everybody's reported that they've had zero calls about Harrelson being confusing with that hamburger intersection. Everybody seems to be really happy with it. But that project did get fully open on January 20th. So that's kind of exciting.
She did say hamburger, by the way.
Yeah. It is not a roundabout, it's a hamburger.
It's something new around here anyway.
Right. But again, it does seem to be working. I know there was you know, everybody was wondering how people would handle that, but I think it seems to be, everybody that was in the meeting today said that it seems to be working really well. So back to, those are what we've completed. Currently under construction with RIDE 3, we have the Group 3 dirt roads. There's 26.11 miles of Group 3 dirt roads that we're working on now. The Highway 9 widening project in Loris, 701 widening in North Conway, the 501 realignment project, 501 main line through that area we talked about earlier, and the 17 business intersection project along with Forest Brook Road, the clearing and grubbing contract. And we'll talk about each one of those a little bit now. The RIDE 3 Group 3 dirt roads have now begun. 4.34 miles of those roads have been paved. Those are Hufford Road, New Road, Norris Road, and Olin Road. The rest of those Group 3 dirt roads are in design and utility recode locations.
These will all be brought into the county system once they're completed, correct?
They're already in the system.
They're already in the system, okay.
The SC9 widening in Loris is scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2026. They've gotten the roundabout complete. They've worked on build-up through that intersection, and basically what they're working on, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the DOT's seasonal paving restrictions, but when it gets cold, they don't want to put that surface course down. And so right now what they're doing on 9 widening is they're getting everything ready so that the only thing that should be left when the seasonal restrictions lift in March will be the final surface. I rode through there yesterday, and they were getting sod down, and they're trying to get, shoulder work done and the last of the build-up done so that when the seasonal restrictions lift in March, they should only have the surface course remaining. As far as the 7-0 widening project in North Conway, they completed the clearing and grubbing at the end of 2025. Most of the utilities have been relocated to the new alignment. I think maybe power still has to move. The construction contract was awarded at the end of 25 to Palmetto Corp, and this construction is scheduled to begin on the actual road work in early 2026 with an anticipated 29 completion. And that does go from the city of Conway, out to 22. The 501 realignment, construction is completion is estimated in early 2027. I've got an update from them on that. I think that where we are, they're getting ready to begin the last of the demolition work. The 7th Avenue has been widened in order to facilitate the widening, and as soon as they get that demo done, they'll be able to finish all of that realignment work. And again, construction completion is anticipated in early 27. 501 mainline widening is undergoing work now. The construction completion for that one is currently estimated in late 26. I don't know if you've ridden through there, but what they're working on right now is southbound heading towards the beach. They've been working on asphalt buildup, and now they've started the asphalt widening on that side. On the northbound side heading towards Conway, they're finishing drainage work. And so there's a lot happening out there. Once the new year started, they really got going. But that one is estimated to be completed late 2026. Another one that's just gotten geared up is the 17 business intersections in Garden City. Construction began in fall of 2025. There's an anticipated 40-month construction duration. And a lot of that does have to do with what we mentioned before, the seasonal restrictions, as well as because of that congested area, there are a lot of restrictions, not just weather related, but tourist traffic related. Most of the clearing activities have been completed down there. We're in the middle of the 6-month utility relocation window, so there's a lot of utility relocation activities happening down there. I think that utility window ends in early summer, and then at that point you'll start to see the drainage and road work begin to take place. Forest Brook Road, the clearing and grubbing contract was awarded in January, or we've just awarded it. And so the clearing and grubbing activities should begin in early 2026. Some of the power utility relocation has already begun, so if you ride through there, there's some tree clearing and everything, but that is the power companies relocating their lines. We should have a pre-con for that in the next month or so, and then they'll start the actual clearing and grubbing contract. The clearing and grubbing contract should take about a year, and anticipated at the end of this year, they'll let the actual construction contract. So what's upcoming for Ride 3? Group 4 dirt road paving is currently under design. Conway Perimeter Road is expected, I've got late 2026, but David, correct me if I'm wrong, that might, yeah.
I'm just raising my hand.
Yeah, that might actually end up pushing.
No, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Conway Perimeter Road's coming up. We've also got the Carolina Bays Parkway North extension, as well as the South Carolina 22 extension. I've got 22 listed here under Ride 3 because we're currently in the environmental study portion, which is funded by Ride 3. The construction is actually Ride 4. We're expecting the next wave of public meetings for the 22 extension in early March. So that information should be coming out soon. I've got here the actual and projected revenues since the beginning of RIDE 3. As you can see, after about, I know it's very hard to read, but we began doing, collecting much more than projected around, David, what, 2021 or so?
Yeah, COVID.
With COVID.
Yeah, it accelerated.
And so we ended up, I think, with an overage of somewhere around $325, $326 million above projected revenue, which is good because as in addition to the revenues going up, construction costs were way up as well.
226.
Do what? I'm sorry.
226.
226. I'm sorry. 226. That's what I get for bad vision. And then I think you all have seen this. This is just the dashboard that we've created to kind of update everybody on the status of those RIDE 3 projects, which we just went through. Moving on to RIDE 4, again, I think you all have, sorry, go ahead.
So are we looking at, so we're looking at roughly 3.5 to 4 years until all project completions on RIDE 3?
Probably a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
Depending on, probably the outlier right now is Highway 31 extensions north.
Take that and 22 out of the equation.
If you take that in 22, we're looking at 29.
22 will be completed.
The EIS portion will be?
The EIS will be completed in about 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Leaning more towards
So
3
31
right
is the outlier.
31 is the outlier right now.
Okay.
But substantially everything will be completed within the next 3.
Okay.
So moving on to RIDE 4, collections began for RIDE 4 in May. You can go ahead. And I think everybody has seen this map. So what we have already begun working on, we had the River Oaks Drive design has been awarded to Thomas and Hutton. We had our kickoff meeting last week for that, so that is in the works. Highway 90 and East Cox Ferry is also in design. The design proposals have been received for 38th Avenue North widening in Myrtle Beach, and we will be awarding those proposals at the end of this month or early next month. The same with the 17 bypass and Grissom Parkway. The design award is in process for that as well. We have met with the city of North Myrtle Beach regarding an IGA for the Barefoot Landing Bridge replacement, and the funding agreements are in place for mass transit as well as the bus maintenance complex. So far, we've had we've got numbers for through the month of November for the RIDE 4 projected revenues. I know it's tough to see, but we're running about 1.7 million under the projected revenues. Again, I think, and again, I'll defer to David, but I think we were pretty aggressive with our projections on those as far as RIDE 4 was concerned, based on what we had seen in RIDE 3.
Yeah, RIDE 4 projections are more aggressive than the RIDE 3 projections.
Why was the SC31 interchange in Carolina Forest not included as being in design?
It's not part of the RIDE program.
It's backstopped
It
by
is
RIDE.
It is backstopped, yeah.
backstopped by it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're going to bring you that and the Garden City Streetscape separately in one of the next meetings.
And so I was going to end, one of the things that we're trying to do as we move forward with RIDE 3 and RIDE 4 is be a little bit more, or, try to get our story out there, let everybody know, brag about what we're doing as far as the work we're doing around the county. And so what I wanted to do, we've got a little 5-minute video as a part of our Future in Focus newsletter that we put out every quarter. And so I just wanted to finish with this because it gives a good synopsis. I think this was the first video that we put out as a part of the Future in Focus newsletter. And am I right with that? Huh? She's surprised by this, but anyway.
Jess and Kimberly from our PIO team,
Right.
this is all done internally.
Okay.
It is very well done.
It is very well done.
Except for the speaker.
The speaker's amazing. But anyway, I just wanted to show everybody kind of what we're doing, what we're trying to get out there. Get the word out at roads.horrycountysc.gov. You can sign up for this newsletter and you can get updates as we push them out. So do you want to show that?
Progress on some of Horry County's largest RIDE 3 projects is becoming more visible by the day. From major road widenings along Highway 501 and Highway 701 to improvements on Fred Nash Boulevard and dirt road paving projects, the vision for a smoother, safer ride is coming into focus. Welcome to Future in Focus, a visual extension of our quarterly newsletter, delivering impactful updates on key infrastructure projects designed to sustain Horry County's future. In this edition, we're speaking with Horry County's Assistant Administrator of Infrastructure and Regulation, David Gilreath, about the history of the program and what's to come.
We don't design a road to what we need today. We design the roads typically for a 20-year window so that it is still functioning and is not beyond its capacity 20 years later. The RIDE stands for Road Improvement Development Effort. It's a very simple acronym. The RIDE program kind of birthed itself in some respects. It came about kind of as a grassroots effort back in the 1990s. The community came together. They had recognized the challenges that they saw coming, and the ability to move around Horry County was a challenge because there were not many bridges over the waterways and over the rivers. But the leadership at the time recognized an opportunity to step up and take care of their own, some sort of lead their own destiny. So the leadership got together and developed a way to create revenue sources that would allow the infrastructure to be improved like it needed to be. They created a hospitality fee. They worked with the state legislature to do that. That was created and used to pay for about half of the original RIDE program, which included things like construction of Highway 22, all of Highway 22. It included the construction of Carolina-based Parkway, Highway 31. It included widening Highway 544. It included George Bishop Parkway, the bridge over the waterway there. It included the Robert Edge Parkway in North Myrtle Beach. It included an intersection improvement at Highway 57 and Highway 9, a number of other projects. And all of that was made possible by the community. It really was a monumental effort, and its legacy is paid off now almost 30 years later. It really has transformed the way people can move around Horry County and municipalities.
Fast forward to 2025, and those improvements continue to be seen across Horry County, with some of the remaining major projects covered in RIDE 3 nearing completion or entering construction, all while work progresses behind the scenes to set the groundwork for additional RIDE 3 and future RIDE 4 projects.
The major projects that were included in RIDE 3 were, as you can see behind me, the widening of a portion of Highway 501 from Gardner Lacey Road to Highway 544. And if you've been on Highway 501, after the previous phases, traffic flow is substantially better. Now all of our troubles are here on this section, and when this is completed, which should be in the latter part of next year in 2026, it will make a major improvement to the traffic flow here on 501.
And while we're talking about 501, this is one of those SCDOT headed projects.
Yes, I mentioned earlier that most of the projects on our RIDE programs are SCDOT driven.
So walk us through how that partnership works with DOT and the county.
You used the right word. It is a partnership. We started that partnership with RIDE 1, but the current RIDE 3 and the new RIDE 4, we have an intergovernmental agreement, an IGA, between the county and the SCDOT, and it stipulates all of the different, I'll do this and you do this, and it lays out the groundwork for a good relationship. DOT has been a wonderful partner to work with. They have kept their word with us. They have done what they've said they'd do. You've seen a lot of these orange cones, these orange barrels all over the county now. And my apologies for that, because you're going to keep seeing those for a long time. We're stretching and we're growing, we're getting bigger.
That's all for this edition of Future in Focus. For more information on past, current, and future RIDE projects, visit roads.horrycountysc.gov and follow us on social media for additional updates.
That's what I have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anybody have any questions?
Just got a question about the revenues. I know you said you were aggressive with those. Is there any concern about being 1.7 down in those few
No, sir. I
months?
mean, you're going to see, we're looking over 25 years, so you're going to see, and there were portions of the previous collections that were below estimates. But you're gonna see some of that. Hopefully, we don't see the inflation and the revenues that, you know, a lot of the RIDE 3 revenues increases were driven by inflation. But thankfully, we got a little extra because everything cost a little extra. So, but we're in good shape right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll move to the public roadway dedication policy survey results by, presentation by David Gilreath.
Yeah, so Brandon Elvis was going to do this. This is at the request of Councilman Howard at the previous I&R committee. He had asked, and we've had these questions come up over time, as to what are other counties doing? What are other municipalities doing local? And what are they doing around the state and around the country? So Brandon and the engineering staff went and took a good look all over the country, and you're going to see some of that, and we're going to tell you what other municipalities are doing in respect to roadway dedications. Do they accept roads? That was the question at hand. Should we accept roads, and what are other people doing?
Meaning like that are not up to our county standards?
No, sir. It was more geared towards, there's a lot of development going on. We are bringing, and you'll see some later in this agenda, the next item, where we're going to accept a couple of more miles of roadway. And that has been an ongoing question since I've been here. In my 20 years, that question comes up all the time. And it's a good question to ask. You should always review what you're doing and ask, should you keep doing that? Don't keep doing it because it's tradition. So they went to a survey of everywhere, all over the country, and you're going to see that. This is just typical, and Brandon has some context that he was going to put with this. The road on the right is one he was familiar with because he got stuck in it. Up in Bolivia, North Carolina. No slight to them. There are bad times when you traveling on some of our unpaved roads can be a challenge. But in general, you'll see a very good, well-maintained unpaved road network that we have. So in South Carolina, most of the counties most counties surveyed do maintain unpaved roads. And you can see that list there, and they are the large counties and some of the smaller counties. Most counties accept new roads, and it's kind of the same sampling you see there. There are 2 counties that they found that are not currently accepting roads, and they are allowed. I don't want the language that's on the screen to be misleading. They do not have a moratorium on growth and development. They have a restriction right now, temporarily, on accepting new roadways because they have some revenue challenges. Georgetown, I don't know as much about. I do know about Anderson County because that's where I'm from. Anderson County has challenges in revenues. They do not have money to put towards it. They've had a couple of any sales tax referendums to fail over the last few years, and I think that they will be back with another one. It almost passed the last time, but their roads are in probably getting close to being in a desperate state. I don't say that lightly, and I hesitate to say it, but it's true. Because they don't have the money to spend on their roadways. So in South Carolina, a lot of words, doesn't say a whole lot. If you look at the left, see the county, look at the right, look at the number of miles that they maintain. On average, that average there is around 1,750 miles, I believe. But basically, we're on par with some of our neighboring counties. The 2,900 miles in Marion County seems high. I'm not sure about that, but
I would imagine that's because there's less municipal government maintaining any roads.
still seems high to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is, I'm laying the fruit on the table that I was giving in the basket.
Where's Bill?
And part of the,
Right.
I did give Mr. Howard an update on this, independent of this meeting, prior to it, to make sure he was aware we were doing it here. So one of the questions in the previous meetings and before was Brunswick County, that's a neighboring county, what are they doing? So in Brunswick County, North Carolina is different. I'm going to show you some of these things. You can't read that, but I'm going to tell you what it says. This is a snippet off of their website. And basically what it tells you is that they don't take roads, they're not allowed to take roads. The state statute in North Carolina does not permit counties to own and maintain roadways. It does allow the municipalities, so one of the items up there, says if there is a publicly maintained road, it is by the state of North Carolina, NCDOT, or it is by a municipality. It is not by the county. So they don't take them, not because they don't want them, probably don't, but it's because they're statutorily prohibited from accepting a roadway for maintenance. That is a law from 1931. You can't read that either, can you? So it is a statute that's been in place for nearing 100 years. Good statute, bad statute, I don't know, maybe they need to look at it again, but that's not my purview. So looking outside of Brunswick and Horry County and South Carolina, these are counties that are similar populations and have roadway networks that accept new roads, and they maintain paved and unpaved roadways. I'm sure this came from AI. I don't know if one of our staff members sat down and actually pulled this research, but I hope they used AI. Anyway, it just goes to show you that what our position and our ordinances and ordinances are similar in nature, and our processes are similar, our philosophies are similar to most every other county. They almost all have unpaved roads, they all have paved roads, and they're typically all accepting new roadways. As a side note, I will always, and I can hear Steve saying it when I say it, the government does a few things good. Some of those are law enforcement, fire protection, and roads. There's nothing more important. There are things that's equally important, but there's nothing more important to a society than its roads. So we believe that as a staff, we would recommend that you continue to accept roads into your system that meet county standards, that are paved and do meet our current standards, because it is not something that is easily maintained by typically by private entities. They can be well maintained, but it takes attention, it takes perpetual care, it takes intention, and it takes spending money on things other than pretty flowers and sprinkler systems. So anyway, that is that. If you have any questions now or in the future, we'll be glad to do some more research and pull that together for you.
Does anybody have any questions? Tom?
If Brunswick County, if the state takes the road over, can you go into any kind of depth? Do they have a better system?
No.
Does the North Carolina, does NCDOT have a better system than SCDOT?
There you go. Well, I'm just thinking, instead of us accepting all these subdivisions, would it be better to let this be given to the state?
Well, the state here won't accept a new roadway.
No.
They have a mileage cap in every county, and you cannot exceed that cap. I think it's in their statute.
You gotta run for governor if you want that.
I won't be running for governor, but I am supporting Pam.
I will say that the NCDOT is probably better funded. Their road taxes are higher. And it's probably something that you need to see happen here in South Carolina. We've come a long ways in the last 10 or 12 years, but it probably is time to take a good look at our funding revenues.
I do think we've come a long way. When the kids were little, we had a murder home, and the big joke was when we got back to Horry County, they always came back to the front of the bus because they could tell the difference in the roads. They loved North Carolina because we hit North Carolina if you hear anything when they're sleeping smooth. But I do think it's gotten better.
SCDOT has done a lot in the last decade or so to address a lot of the issues. They've come a long way, so I give them kudos for that.
Thank you for the great work, even though some of it might have been AI.
I'll just say, add one thing to Brunswick County, where we have the issues with our dirt roads that are properly maintained or should be or supposed to be with complaints. Danny gets a lot of them. Ambulances, fire trucks having issues. Brunswick County has those as well with their paved roads and subdivisions that they're trying to figure out how to handle. Right? I mean, they have issues. So no, the state doesn't make it better for Brunswick County. They still struggle with roads torn up and private roads torn up in subdivisions and nobody to fix them. I guess is what I said.
Mr. Chairman, I spoke with Secretary Powell. It's been a few weeks now, but he's reinstituting or reinvigorating or whatever you want to call it, the gas tax and funding for the highways and stuff. And whatever we need to do to coordinate with him to make sure, because he knows us and everything else, to make sure we get more than our fair share.
Yes, sir.
There was some discussion about dealing with the funding mechanisms or updating the statute to modernize the revenue collections, or maybe I'm mistaken.
Yes, so there is a modernization effort.
Yeah, that's right.
For SCDOT. What the secretary, one of his main points that he reiterates every time he gets a chance is the spending power of a penny when they up the gas tax is not what it is today. They can do, he'll give you the number, but it's probably 20 to 25% less that they can do with a penny than they could just 5-6 years ago. So,
Mr. Chairman, I would love for us to maybe consider eventually doing something to send to council in favor of trying to encourage our state legislators to raise the gas tax. A couple weeks ago, I filled up for $1.99, and tomorrow I'm gonna fill up, I think it's gonna be $2.60 something. And I think they could raise the gas tax substantially, and we'd never know, other than a few people whining and complaining, oh, taxes, but if it provides a service, let me pay a little bit more to get a better service. So something for maybe us to consider eventually.
We certainly can discuss the possibility of a resolution supporting state government's actions. We could talk about that at a future meeting.
Thank you, sir. Great job, Mr. Coolidge.
The views of Mr. Anderson do not necessarily support the views of this council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just kidding, just
That's
kidding.
right. I'll let it down the road for you a little bit.
next item.
Yes, sir. Next item is resolutions. A resolution to accept the roads and drainage in the following subdivisions into Horry County Maintenance System: Chestnut Farms, Hidden Pines Phase 1, Ridgefield Phase 4, Ridgefield Phase 5, Ridgefield Phase 6, Ridgefield Phase 7.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a total of 2.72 miles that would be coming into your system. They've been design built and found to meet county standards, and we would recommend that they be included in your maintenance system.
So moved.
Any questions? Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes. And next, we have a resolution supporting the construction of U.S. Interstate I-73 in South Carolina to service Horry County and the PD regions, and to name and dedicate the section as President Donald J. Trump Highway. Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I don't have a presentation.
Yeah.
So before you is a resolution supporting the General Assembly's pending bill to name I-73 from Horry County to 95 in honor of President Trump, which is where the permit was finally issued, was during his first administration. If you recall, during ROD 4, Horry County pledged a $450 million match for the portion built within Horry County, so long as the entire road is funded to 95.
This more or less just mimics what action was taken in the state legislature last week.
Correct. We do not have the authority to name the interstate. This is putting our support behind the General Assembly's.
Is there, we discussed this earlier, is there anything that we can do to indicate that we would like to see the funding?
That we would like to see the funding included during this administration.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Would you like this amended to reflect that we only support naming it for President
I
Trump?
will certainly accept a proposal to amend the resolution in that regard if anybody wants to do so. As the chairman, I am not able to do that.
Can we discuss a little bit further?
Sure.
So I did a little Googling this weekend and a little bit of AI search, and I couldn't find a federal highway that was number 47. And I do understand that the federal highway system is based on north, south, east, west, and odd numbers, even numbers. And anyway, I wouldn't be opposed if we do propose to name this after President Donald J. Trump, if he funds this road, if we could even change, if nothing else, our section to highway number 47.
Well, I think that would be problematic in the interstate system, right?
Could be,
Trying to
and
connect
and
to
I'm not
I-73.
trying to change all that,
Yeah.
if it would work. But he seems to like his name on things, and if it makes a difference, I'm all about supporting it. I'd just like to have a road paved.
I'd like to have a road.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the main goal here is to see that we could get some federal funding towards the project. That would be then additional, some state funding towards the project, then we could use our match to go towards completing the highway. So that's the main
So you up for a
objective
motion?
here. Excuse me?
Up for a motion?
Motion to amend?
Second.
All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Okay. the
And to
amendment
clarify, the amendment is based upon receiving funding.
During the
During the
original.
term.
During the term, yes.
I'm sure I have that typed up right.
Are we sending that to him?
Then I guess we need to make a vote on the resolution as amended.
Yeah, I guess so moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we are holding President Trump accountable to his promises. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the last item on the agenda today is an ordinance to amend the index map of the official map ordinance for Horry County, adding the right-of-way for Carolina Bays Parkway from Highway 707 to Highway 17 bypass, and associated interchange to the Horry County official index map. David Gilreath.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over time, you have opportunities to look forward and to be proactive and do things the right way. We have the opportunity to take that here today, potentially, if you so choose. What this ordinance does is it will preserve, and is consistent with state statute, it is there to preserve the right-of-way that would connect Highway 31, that would extend Highway 31 on the south end from Highway 707 to 17 bypass. There is a substantially open corridor there currently. That is not going to be the case soon if you choose not to do this. But you have an opportunity right now to preserve that corridor for future project assignment and funding allocation. And I would recommend that you at least consider that and take that action if you feel like it's appropriate.
Tom?
Step.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we move forward with staff's recommendation to designate this corridor.
Give me a second. Second?
Second.
I was looking, there is a lot of open space between the end of 707 and 17 bypass. I mean, in other words, there's no homes on it, no roads and so forth.
That's correct.
And if we can't somehow nail it down, the sooner the quicker.
Thomas, do you have that map that you can pull up? And that's what this would do. You can see on this map,
It's wide open.
it is substantially
Today.
open right now. There are some impacts to this right of way. This right of way has been through a substantial amount of analysis.
Cheaping on most of it.
And we have the opportunity right now to preserve that right of way.
Yeah.
And it would be a good thing. It is something, as y'all know, Highway 707 is great as it has been since it was widened, 12, 13 years ago now. It is reaching its capacity in certain sections and at certain times of the day. And this would create another link between, and another node in traffic engineering terms that would offer more options. The best thing you can do for traffic, other than not create it, is to distribute it. So that's what this would do. It would allow folks that are coming down 31 to continue at least closer to most of their destinations, which would be on 725. So
There are anticipated plans for the parcel that we're cutting through, right? I think it's important for people to know that.
that is my understanding that the large undeveloped parcel that you see there is being considered for design and development right now.
So this is essentially getting ahead of any future development on that site so that they can plan around the use of our use of an interchange there rather than letting them develop over the site, not having that option in the future.
Yes.
And that particular route is one of the considered legs of 22,
This one.
just for a record.
Yes, sir. This could be one of the portion of the Highway 22 extension. That analysis is still being performed. It's too early to tell right now, but this is one of the current options for that highway.
Yeah, I think it's a good project. It'll, as Gary was saying, it'll help take traffic off 544, and it'll create a loop around the entire county.
All right, anybody else have any other questions or discussion items?
Great job, staff.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. We do not have any old business. I do not believe we have a need for an executive session today, is that correct? Okay. Our next meeting date will be March 24th. If you're not aware, we're going to go on a every other month basis with the Transportation Committee. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a, excuse me?
3 o'clock?
Yes, they will be at 3 o'clock, yeah. If nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. We are adjourned.